TravelJoy tasks allow you to set reminders, assign actions, and complete those actions in just a few clicks. Before we get started, it's important to understand that some tasks are created automatically in TravelJoy. An example of an automatically created task is the invoice payment reminder task. When you create an invoice with a payment schedule in TravelJoy, all unpaid payments with future due dates will automatically have a reminder task created. By default, these reminders will arrive in your email inbox 7 days prior to the payment due date. Similarly, if you have the feature turned on under Settings and Invoice, you can have TravelJoy automatically remind you to process supplier invoice payments as well. When this feature is enabled and the client authorizes a payment via a supplier invoice, an automatic reminder is created to alert you to pay the supplier. Other tasks must be added manually. This can happen one of two ways, either via a task list template, which we'll discuss later, or via the Tasks tab on a group or trip. Today we'll be adding a task to Amanda Lynn's trip, reminding us to send her a welcome home email upon her return. We'll start by going to the Tasks tab for this trip and simply typing the title of the task in the box and clicking Add. Now, the task exists, but it has very little information, so we're going to click the task to start adding details. The first thing you'll notice is that the task links back to the trip. This comes in handy later. The second box allows you to retitle the task if you don't like it, and the third box allows you to enter a static due date. In our example, we'll say October 31st, 2019. Now, this creates a bit of a conundrum in this case, because it's entirely possible that Amanda Lynn may push back her travel dates, and if I'm not paying attention, I may send her a welcome home email while she's still on vacation. So let's remedy this by switching from a regular due date to a relative due date. In this example, we'll want to send the email relative to her trip 1 day after the trip's return date. Now, if her travel dates change, so too will the task's due date. The next box, completed, should not be checked right now. This allows you to come back to a task and mark it completed later. Now, you can add an action to your task. As always, click the question mark to read more about this feature. In short, this option allows you to attach an action to the reminder email that you'll receive on the due date. This is not required, but it can be very helpful. The two possible actions in this case are to send a form or send an email. Let's choose Send Email. When you do so, a new box will appear asking you which email you wish to send. All of your email templates are here, and if you chose the action Send a Form, you'd see the form templates instead. In this list, simply pick the template you want to send, in our case, the welcome home email, and click Save. Now, note that this won't send the welcome home email to your client. Instead, it will send you a reminder email, and in that reminder email, there will be a link to the email or form you intend to send your client. Clicking that link will open TravelJoy, open that trip, pull up the template you want to send, and you only need to click the Send button from here to complete the job, saving you a lot of time. You can find a whole list of your active and completed reminders by clicking Tasks on the left side navigation menu in TravelJoy. The first page will show you all of your active and complete tasks. If you have a lot of these, this could be overwhelming, so let's click on the Today tab instead. This tab only shows you tasks that are incomplete and either overdue or due by the end of today. You can sort by task due date, trip name, and client name, and you can use the search box to find specific types of tasks. From this page, you can also mark tasks complete by clicking the checkbox next to them, which makes them instantly disappear. If you ever need to check out completed tasks, you can click on the Completed tab here to do so. If you click on an actual task anywhere in this list, you'll see that you can edit the task here just like you can via the trip or group page. You'll also see a button at the bottom left that allows you to complete any attached action, such as sending the client an invoice payment reminder email. This works just like the action button in your actual email reminder. There's one more thing you can do from this page, and that is to add a task that is not associated with a trip or group by clicking Add Task. You cannot attach actions to these because, unless there's a group or trip specified, there's no client or group of clients to send things to. Next up is task list templates. These are templates that you build once and use repeatedly on any trip in TravelJoy. These templates can serve any purpose, such as reminding you to set up specific Disney accommodations like dining, fast pass, and more in advance based on the trip departure date. To get started, click Templates and then Task List. From here, you can add a new template by giving it a descriptive name. In our case, we'll use hype messages because these tasks are designed to help our clients get excited and prepared for their trip. Now that I've created the task list template, it's time to add some tasks. You'll do this just like you did on the trip by typing the task name and clicking Add Task. From there, you'll also click the task just like before to add details. This box looks almost exactly like the one on a trip with two key exceptions. You can't mark the task completed because it's part of a reusable list, and you can't set a standard due date because each trip will have unique dynamics including trip departure and return dates. We'll call this first one 30 days till trip and choose a relative due date 30 days prior to the trip departure. We'll choose the appropriate action and email template and then save it. We'll now do the same thing a couple more times, and then once we're done, we'll click Save on the task list template itself. We're all set. Now we just need to add the template to a trip. So let's go back to Amanda Lynn's trip for just a moment and her task tab. Once there, click Import and select the Hype Messages template from the drop-down list. Notice how all of the tasks from that list are imported, placed in chronological order, and have due dates based on the travel dates for this trip. You can now import this list into any trip or group. To learn more about other types of templates, check out our templates tutorial video on YouTube or our tutorials page on TravelJoy.